All right, here we go. Salute to Knicks Nation on this Sunday afternoon, a matinee edition of Knicks Weekly, episode 70. On today's show, we are going to touch on the Knicks news and rumors of the week, man. FIBA basketball has wrapped up. We will give you the updates on Jalen Brunson, Team USA, RJ Barrett, Team Canada, what to watch out for. Plus, can the Knicks win it all? According to Bobby Marks, they can, man. We're going to touch on that and react. Is it a true possibility? Plus, we wrap up our season review series. Jalen Brunson, Immanuel Quickley, capping it off with two of the best players on the squad. So looking forward to it, man. CB the Fanchise, Alex Rotaros on the ones and twos. Do me a favor, if you are a diehard Knicks fan, a diehard NBA fan, hit that like button, hit the thumbs up button below. Share this video right now. Share it on Twitter and subscribe to the channel. Knicks Weekly episode 70, man. Knicks Weekly episode 70. Al, how you feeling, bro?
Good, man. Chilling.
Yeah.
Decided to play some golf yesterday, so that was fun.
Nice.
And then today, going to do more prepping of the baby room. Yeah. So changing out the light fixtures, switches, all that type of stuff. So go get, put my handyman gloves on and get to work.
There you go, man. You know, every week you find another activity to get involved in as you enjoy the last few moments of free time for yourself.
That is exactly right. That is exactly right. Because once the baby comes, I'm going to be hunkered down. So, got to do it all. Got to do it all before all that happens. But, hey, how are you doing, man? New look? No hat?
I was rushing to get this show on. We started early. I'm going to a concert tonight. Going to check my boys out. The Locks, LOX, man. At
another
the
concert.
Rooftop. Yeah, I got to do it, man. Real rap. You know, none of this mumble rap or this zombie music they got going on. The stock rap going on. This is real rap. I got to go support my guy. So I'm going to the Seaport in a couple of hours. But we got to give the people what they want, man. We got to give the people a show. Tap in on Knicks Weekly, man, because it is the #1 show for the fans, by the fans, after all. So I'm feeling good mentally. Physically, I feel like I just got hit by a bus. I feel like I just got hit by a bus. Well, remember I told you on NBA Report, I came out of retirement yesterday.
Oh, that's right. You did. You did mention that. How did it go, man? How did hooping go?
I came out of retirement. Shout out to the Precious Dreams Foundation. They put on a celebrity charity game, if you will. The Precious Dreams Foundation, they basically support foster care, foster children living in shelters, doing what they can to support these kids financially, whether it's materials for books or it's money to go to college, things of that nature. A very good cause. So I was happy to be a part of it. Our guy, Edgar Burgos, former employee of the New York Knicks, came on this show when we talked about Carmelo retiring, friend of the program, invited me to participate in the game. So I said, you know what, I am retired, but I'll do it just this once, or maybe twice if I do it next year. But that's about it. My days are numbered. So yeah. So
how'd you perform, man? You're burying the lead.
Yeah.
We all want to know, how did CP hoop?
It was a mixed bag. It was a mixed bag. I'll tell you that. First half,
man.
First and foremost, I jump on the court. I left out a very key point here. I didn't even tell you on Friday who my coach was.
Who?
My coach was none other than Johnnie Bryant.
Oh, let's go.
Associate head coach of the New York Knicks. I couldn't pass that up. How could I pass up an opportunity to be coached by the man that Knicks fans dubbed the next Red Auerbach? I had to do it. I could not pass up that opportunity, bro. So I'm on the squad with Johnnie Bryant. And like I said, it was a tale of two halves for me. First half was a little rusty. As soon as I got out on the court, first up and down up the court, my heart is jumping out my chest. Conditioning was not on my side. I was winded like hell. I was like, what the hell did I just get myself into? So it took me a little while to get into gauge. Okay? Now, second half, much stronger. Okay? I'm getting out in transition. I'm locking down on defense.
Okay.
Forcing turnovers, getting the guys out in transition. We're cooking. But I had a little bit of an issue, bro. I had a little bit of an issue with him. You know, the Knicks have been notorious under the Thibodeau regime for mismanaging rotations.
Uh-oh.
You know where I'm going with this?
I see where you're going with this.
You
just sat out for the rest of the game, didn't
you? After a spirited two-way performance in the fourth quarter, getting my team back into the game after we gave up the lead when I came out the game the first half, getting my guys back into this thing, I was not in crunch time, bro.
Uh-oh.
I was not in. I had a problem with that, man.
Uh-oh.
This is a charity game. I did it for the kids, but I'm trying to win out there. As soon as I leave in the fourth quarter, after we go out on a run, I didn't get back in crunch time, bro. This is the same issue that we have with Tibbs and the regime, and it carried over into the charity game.
So let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Did you feel like R.J. Barrett, Quentin Grimes?
Absolutely.
Or did you feel like, who else is there on the list?
Quick?
Who'd you feel like, man? Which player?
All of them. I felt the pain.
God.
I felt the pain because I should have been out there giving my team a lift. And not for nothing. Again, we had a great team and a lot of nice characters, nice people. A lot of people I met for the first time. Jay Williams was supposed to be on our team, never showed up. Shout out to Jay. No shout out to him because he stood us up. All right, he should have been on there. Jamal Tinsley played for the other team. He was out there balling. He showed up and played for the kids. Jay Williams got a little too Hollywood for us. Never even showed up to the game.
Here we go.
So a lot of us had to pick up the slack, if you will.
Henry Estella with the actual comp. Yeah. CP. He says, CP, you got OB'd.
Yeah. I did.
Look at that. That is the one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
I did. And shout out to the guy. There was a lot of friends of the program, a lot of fans of the program at the event. One of them had a professional camera. He said he got my highlight reel, so I'm waiting for him to send it. That's why I didn't send it. I only got the still image. I had the Knicks chick there. Wifey was there. She was handling the images for the social team, but she didn't get much video. So I'm waiting on the video, put my highlight reel together, and I'll send it out there. I'll show you guys what I was getting it popping out there. But I wasn't in crunch time, bro.
Too. We better get the blooper.
I wasn't in crunch time, bro. I was locking down. Nobody scored on me. There was a guy in there that was bashing, dunking all over the team. Windmills, everything. Didn't score 1 point on me, bro.
Ooh.
Didn't score 1 point on me in the game. I should have been in crunch time. Johnny B, if you're watching, if you listen, I should have been in crunch time. And there's nothing against my team, bro. Like I said, very fine people. And you know, they had to be very, you know, everybody had to get minutes and play. But to say this, all I'll say is this. There was a couple members of the squad that weren't prepared to play basketball, bro. And they were out there getting minutes at my expense. So I felt a little insulted. They insulted me a little bit, but it was for the kids. So nevertheless, I obliged. I said, okay, that's okay.
So you're saying that there's people who got minutes in front of you that weren't necessarily performing to standards where they should be getting minutes in front of you.
They had no business playing, period. I'm trying to win. We're trying to win here.
You really got OB'd.
Yeah. Big time. Big time.
Man.
But nevertheless, man, like I said, we had a blast. A lot of the kids were, there. They were appreciative. A lot of KnicksFanTV fans. Some of my peoples from MSG Network. Shout out my guy Kofi and them from MSG Networks, man. A lot of love for KnicksFanTV in the building. I ran into two of your homies randomly, bro.
There you go. I know. Actually,
I ran into two of your homies randomly.
As I was on the course, my boy Abdul, shout out to Abdul Tubman.
Shout out to Abdul.
He's like, yo, I'm here. I see CP warming up.
Yeah.
He sent me a photo. I was like, oh, snap.
Yeah. Shout out to the squad from White Plains, man. Your homies definitely pulled up, Bobby. So we had a nice conversation after the game. Nice. And that was cool. Very, very random. Shout out my guy Chris Persianen from Knicks Film School, a Fordham student, and rising up the ranks in his sports journalism career. So he was there. Awesome. It was nice, man. Just a nice event. Another funny story for you from the event. So we're wrapping up after the game, and everybody's talking whatever. So a little kid comes up to me and he's like, "Are you the CP?" All right. I said, "Yeah. How you doing?" And he's got a Knicks hat on. He's like, "Oh, my dad watches your show all the time." Blah, blah. I said, "Well, okay, appreciate it. It is a family show at the end of the day, right?" Mm-hmm. So So then the kid's mom comes up to me, and she's like, "All I see on my TV is you guys, and I'm tired of it." I was like, "Lady, listen, we've heard the story before. You got a great guy. He's a keeper. So shout out to Wally from Queens, because he taps in with us on the big screen. Sorry, his lady wants to watch like 90 Day Fiance or something. No, we got to tap in with the boys at KnicksFanTV. Knicks Weekly episode 7 is getting it cracking. That's what Wally from Queens is doing right now on a Sunday, man.
And you know what? He could be anywhere else. But where is he? He's home watching KFTV because he's an avid Knicks fan, and 2, hey, you don't got to worry. There you go.
Absolutely, man. So, it's a story that I get quite often, but shout out to the fans. I love when the kids get involved as well, man, because that's what we do it for, man. It's a family show. I want to make sure that the family's involved, and shout out to Wiley from Queens. He gets his son involved, and, the young whippersnappers rock with us too, man. They hit that thumbs up button for you boys. So that's always a good thing to hear. You know what I mean?
CP, you were just in the mix yesterday, man. Seeing everybody, talking to everybody.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man.
It was a good day. So
maybe what you need to do is you need to lobby to get the entire KFTV squad. Yeah. So that way the team actually has a fighting chance to win.
That's what I'm going to do, man. Next year we're going to come with reinforcements, and this is just not going to happen, man. It was just unacceptable, like I said. So some members of the team were just not. That's all I'll say. It was for the kids. So
been there, done that.
Yeah. So anyway, between my back, my hip, my legs, my ACL, my Achilles, my ankles, I feel like I'm walking on cinder blocks.
You need an ice bath, is what you're saying.
Yeah, one of those. One of those, man.
Man, we need to get you like one of those icy hots, right? Like Shaq, when you get to that age, I hear at that age, at your age, man, I hear that, rest is really important. Like you take a lot of naps, you sleep for a long period of time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I try to get an old man nap in during the afternoon, a little siesta, if you will. I try to get those in. Yeah, get those in. So that was that, man. Then I watched UFC.
And then you're going out to a concert tonight. It's gonna be a long weekend affair for you, man.
Yeah. So I tried to take it easy today. I just took it easy, And so that was that. And then I watched UFC last night. My guy, Aljamain Sterling, got knocked out. Yeah, Long Island's finest, Jamaica's own, got knocked out last night. Lost the bantamweight title. But, Sugar Sean O'Malley's nice, man. So shout out to Sugar Sean. He earned it. My guy, Aljamain, got dropped. Wasn't a good look. Yeah, it wasn't a good look, bro. Wasn't a good look, man. Yeah.
I was about to say the Yankees aren't a good look, but they somehow tied it up. Look at that.
Yankees are garbage. Straight trash. Okay, so let's get into hoops, man. So today, Team USA wrapped up their exhibitions, and lengthy exhibitions in this FIBA play, man. These guys have been playing for like two weeks, but they wrapped up in Abu Dhabi with a spirited comeback against Germany. And that German team is pesky, man. Between Schroeder and the Wagner brothers and Tice and these guys, they play hard. And they had this USA team on the ropes for quite a bit. They were up, had a pretty sizable lead throughout this game. I thought Brunson had a little bit of trouble with Schroeder. Had a little bit of trouble with Schroeder keeping up. The German bigs did a good job on the boards as well, even though Jaren Jackson Jr., I love how he plays in this game. But nevertheless, Ant-Man led a spirited comeback. I love Anthony Edwards, man. I feel like he's my player to watch next year. And USA won 89 to 81.
Yeah.
89 to 81.
It looked like it was going into OT the way that it was for how close it was. Mm-hmm. But, hey, Ant-Man was the saving grace for Team USA. Brunson didn't have it today. Ingram didn't have it today. But really, it was Ant-Man, and then you had to give kudos to Tyrese Halliburton and Austin Reeves, man. Yeah. And then both those guys with good defensive efforts to be tied. You're looking for answers. You get Anthony Edwards. You get Tyrese Halliburton with the steal. You get Reeves with another steal, and then a flush to say it's over. Let's call it a day. Go home. It was a good showing by those guys tonight, man, because everybody else didn't really have it, man. Didn't really have it. But that's how it goes sometimes in sports, right? Like you see Jalen Brunson, he goes beasting one night. Guys go quiet the other night, and then you see the depth of this team. But the one thing I like about Team USA is that this young team plays really well as a collective unit.
Yeah.
And it like everyone knows their role. It's not like when we watch like when we're watching what was it, like the Redeem team, right? You just have a lot of star power where, everyone, the guys who could score need to make sure they get their touches. This, I mean, when you have people like Josh Hart, you have Mikal Bridges, you have Bobby Portis, everyone is more, fit for their specific role, which kind of gives guys like Halliburton, Brunson, Edwards, everybody else like their free reign just to be themselves as they would be on their own team.
And correction on the final score, it was 99 to 91. I said 89 to 81. It's 99 to 91. They came back and won. But what you said there was key. Because one of the storylines in this game was that Brunson got benched when USA was mounting their comeback. He got benched. He got benched for Halliburton and this, that, and the third. He finished the game with 8 points, 2 of 6 shooting, 3 dimes. Wasn't his best performance of these exhibition series, but he's been consistent. He's been good. He's been one of the USA's top players. But here comes the engagement hawk in Bill Simmons.
Oh,
with his tweet.
Good grief.
Here comes Bill Simmons with his tweet now. Okay? Team USA's biggest issue for the actual tournament, he says, is accepting that Halliburton and Reeves are 2 of their best guys on the team. They're going to have to be out there in any big situation, even if feelings get hurt. I mean, what an overreaction. First of all, a prisoner of the moment tweet, a complete overreaction to an exhibition game. And again, to me, this was just fishing for replies and retweets. And look, you got it because we're talking about it right now. But the bottom line is, even people saw that, okay, Brunson struggling. Oh, Halliburton should be starting. For one, both of those guys bring different elements to the team. Brunson more on the offensive end, Halliburton more from playmaking and defense. I think Halliburton coming off the bench gives the bench an excellent spark. He's been great in his own right, especially coming off the bench. I think you can use them interchangeably. You can play them together. But what Kerr did today was he went with the hot hand. It was Halliburton. It was Reeves. It was Ant-Man. Ant-Man's been great. He went with the hot hands who got them back into this thing and ultimately won the game. And with this roster here, that's how it should be. You don't have to rely on one guy or the next. But the idea that this thing has to go through Halliburton and Austin Reeves because they're the 2 best guys on the team. First of all, Anthony Edwards is the best on the team right now.
That's a fact.
so whatever he's talking about, nothing against Reeves. Reeves has been playing very well.
Absolutely.
But my point is that you can get these guys in and out. Whoever's hot stays in. And for that matter, I don't mind that our guy Jalen Brunson didn't play in a meaningless exhibition FIBA game down the stretch to exert more energy to get them to come back and get them to win. The guys who were in got them the dub, and they move on to the Philippines. Really not a big deal in my opinion.
It's not, but, there's even, it's to start the engagement, as you said. I mean, you even have conversation, Trae Young should be in there over Jalen Brunson. It's like, we're really saying this over one game.
Yeah.
One game. Exhibition game. Just one exhibition game. We're saying that Trae Young should be in there over Jalen Brunson. What is happening?
Insane.
It just makes no sense. I mean, if you're watching the games, you're seeing that he's doing everything you want for him in that starting unit, right? Just like how that starting unit is designed, it's more so for him as the second unit is designed for Halliburton, running up the court, pushing the pace. I mean, you have him, Reeves, Josh Hart, guys that like to push out in transition. So it makes sense that he's leading with that as like your backcourt right there, so, or the wing with Hart on the wing. In the starting unit, you have Anthony Edwards. Yes, he can move out in transition, but he's also going to half court because he could just drive down the lane and use his physicality. You got Mikal Bridges as your spot-up shooter for when Jalen Brunson goes down there and just starts to attack. You got a good pick and roll guy with Triple J, and Brandon Ingram's another guy that can attack in isolation. I think what Kerr has done is right in the dynamic for it, and Brunson controls the pace. I don't know, like maybe Kerr believes in more of like setting a pace to the game first instead of just going out running and gunning, which is more of like Halliburton style. And it's like, okay, put that second unit in, as we see with the Knicks, right?
Different styles.
2 different styles. So I don't really make a big to-do over Brunson not having like one poor performance. But if you watch him play, he's been methodical. He looks for his teammates, working really well in the pick and roll with Triple J. I think he's been doing a fine job. Today was just not his day offensively, and that's fine. And when you have depth like this on Team USA, it's great they have Halliburton right there.
Right, use it.
Awesome.
You got the depth, use it. I mean, people act like you got benched for Deuce McBride here. Like, let's relax. Understand, he's played with talented people, and Kurt went with the hot hand. So, yeah.
How about this?
Mm-hmm.
Brunson got benched for an All-Star. A should have been All-Star got benched for an All-Star. What's there to look at?
What are we talking about here, man? But either way, that's Bill Simmons for you. So USA's exhibition tour is over. They now fly to Manila in the Philippines, and they will kick off their group play in the FIBA World Cup. They will start Saturday, August 26th against New Zealand. That's an 8:40 a.m. start time. Then they play Greece on Monday, August 28th. That is an 8:40 a.m. Eastern time start time. And then they will play Jordan on Wednesday, August 30th at 4:40 a.m. Eastern time. Al, you going to be up for that game? Because we're doing post game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We're doing post game. So
I'll be there.
So are you going to be up for this? Let me know, man.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
I'm ready for the next Thrilla in Manila.
Yeah. There we go, man. There we go. So then they play Jordan, and then I believe the qualifying games will start after that. That's the extent of the schedule that we have there.
Okay.
That's the extent of the schedule. Now, let's look up Team Canada and see where they will be starting off. Team Canada, FIBA basketball schedule, RJ and the gang. RJ, what's been your reaction to some of RJ's games in these exhibition matchups?
He's been good and consistent for Team Canada, and he's doing the things that we've seen him do before on the Knicks. So I like to see the consistency. That is encouraging. Please do it for the Knicks during the regular season.
Yeah, there we go.
That's it. That's all I got, because he's not doing anything new, flashy that we haven't seen before. But yeah, just do it for the Knicks.
Yep. Absolutely, man. So their schedule is looking like this. Salute to everybody in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. On Friday, and they're looking like, I think they're considering their group the group of death. Because on Friday, August 25th, they'll play France. This is going to be in Indonesia. And on Sunday, August 27th, they'll play Lebanon. The France game is going to be 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Then they'll play Lebanon on Sunday, August 27th, and that will be at 4:45 a.m. Eastern time. And then they will play Latvia on Tuesday. That will be 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. They're going to be in Indonesia. So obviously, France is a tough group. Latvia, without our guy Kristaps Porzingis,
whatever will they do?
Whatever will they do? And so that's RJ's test. So stay tuned for that. We'll get you guys the coverage, everything you need to know, the post game reactions, who did what, and that'll be a good time, man. That'll be a good time. You know, we've been covering RJ and we've been covering Brunson in the FIBA World Cup. But we haven't been covering Mr. FIBA himself, Evan Fournier, man. Why are we disrespecting Fournier like this? This guy came out in his exhibition matchup against Australia with 29 points on 12 of 15 shooting. How do we forget FIBA Fournier, man? Put some respect on his name. We're trying to trade this guy.
Still trying to trade this guy.
Yeah.
That ain't changing.
Yeah. Yes.
FIBA Fournier, much different than Knicks Fournier. Yeah, man. You know, he's good. He's good in this. He's good in these settings.
I'm watching the highlights right now, man. Wow. He's looking good out there, man. He's pulling up from all over the court. Look at this guy.
You know what he really needs to? He needs to be utilized.
Ooh, did you see the footwork on that out of the post? Got it. I'm just watching.
He needs to be utilized as like a 6 man on a team, man.
Sure.
And on them. What do you say? What do you mean by sure?
Yeah, a 6 man where all 4 players that he's playing with are defensive player of the year candidates. Sure, that'd be fantastic.
Exactly.
You just let him out there, let him go out there. You know, when he's playing in a rotation with Nicholas Batum and Rudy Gobert, he's all right.
You know,
he's all right.
Isn't Frank on the team? Is Frank Ntilikina on that team too?
Is Frank on the roster this year?
Frank
Let me see, man. Let me see. This is.
Throw him out there for more defense too to help Fournier.
Yeah. I think Frank is on the team this year. Let me double check. FIBA roster. Who's on the team? Is Frank on the team? No.
Wow.
Nope. They got rid of Frank, man. Wow. How the mighty have fallen. How the mighty have fallen, man.
Well, at least he's on Charlotte.
Yeah, he's on Charlotte, so that'll be LaMelo's test in practice. So, yeah.
Frank, if you want shade, come to this show.
Frank Hive is alive. Somebody said Frank is hurt. I don't know. I'm looking at this roster, and this was as of early June 28th. Oh, okay. Let's see. Ntilikina will be replaced by Isaiah Fournier. Trying to get my French up. Fournier. Okay, so it looks like Frank was an injury he was replaced due to injury. Yeah. Injury he picked up in a friendly game against Lithuania. Okay, there you go. There you go. That's the reason. Yeah, he got hurt. He got a quarter hamstring. Yeah, hamstring injury for Frank.
He caught a hamstring.
Yeah.
Man.
Pulled the hammy, man.
Again?
Yep, pulled the hammy. Frank's out of there. So they'll have to contend without him. Yeah.
Whatever will they do?
Oh, we'll see, man. So it's up to Fournier, the vet. It's up to Fournier, the vet. So I'm looking forward to this one, man. USA is the betting favorite. I think Germany's going to be tough. Lithuania, I think they're going to be tough with our guy Rokas and Iggy Brazdeikis and those boys. France will be tough. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
I like it, man. We didn't get a chance to see Slovenia with Luka Doncic. Don't sleep on them. I like it. Gonna be interesting.
Should be an interesting World Cup. There's a lot of good teams, man. A lot of good teams. A lot of NBA players.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the way USA's been playing. I really like how they've been playing, just because the depth roster. I feel like everyone knows their role. I mean, they just play gritty. I mean, Germany, it was such a close battle, but they just figured it out. I like USA's chances, man. Yeah. Even though it isn't as star-studded as it has been in the past, this is still a good team, in my opinion.
True indeed, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Salute to everybody rocking with us for this matinee edition of KFTV, man. KFTV Knicks Weekly. You know what I'm saying? KFTV Knicks Weekly. We got Zay from Maryland. I see you on the Discord. Are you there? Oh, I forgot Spain. Absolutely. Spain's going to be tough, too, yeah.
Yeah, I'm here, man. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. How you feeling, bro?
Perfect. Feeling good, man. Feeling good. What I would say is kind of like with the whole Brunson thing, just a few quick notes. Like the whole Brunson thing, it was just like, I already knew this was coming. You know, a lot of people, expected Halliburton to be the starter just off the fact of they don't even know much about Brunson outside of the playoffs because, a lot of people don't pay attention to the Knicks. If you're not a Knicks fan, you're not really gonna know like Brunson's like that, right? So all Knicks fans say, yeah, he's the starter, but you got those haters that felt like Halliburton was better. So, if Brunson isn't getting the coverage whenever he's having good games, and then now Halliburton has that one good game, and they want to just spice it as if it's an issue. True. It's still a non-issue. I mean, I still think Brunson's going to continue to start. At the end of the day, he brings more of a calm in the starting lineup.
Yeah.
Trae Young wouldn't have been able to do what Jalen Brunson does. At the end of the day, Trae Young is a chucker. You know what I'm saying? Right. He's not like a great team player. So it would have been a whole different scheme with Trae Young on the team. So, people need to get over that. So I'll say that with that. My only other additional piece is the whole is RJ. I know a lot of people, even on good games, when you guys post the good games, people are still hating. You got RJ hate about, he needs to do it in the regular season. Oh, this, that, and that. He's inconsistent. The big thing about RJ, I don't think people really understand. I'm against the RJ and Julius pairing. Like, I'm at this point after last season, I'm like, they're the same players. So it's like, people are going to hate on RJ, but they don't understand that RJ's been put in this box to play next to Julius. That's a little bit outside of the game that he played in high school, the game that he played in the Olympics beforehand, and then the game that he played at Duke. So it's like, people got to understand that RJ could potentially be what he's doing now if he was like more of the second, or just Julius wasn't there. If it was just him and Brunson and maybe another star that's a little bit more pass heavy, so it's just like, we're not going to realize how good RJ is until we get rid of him. And then people are going to then be mad that we got rid of him and he's doing good at another team. So it's just like, some of the RJ hate is just unnecessary, but people got their opinions. So I'm not even going to be mad at that. So all in all, I think this offseason shows we have a lot of potential on our team. And, I just can't wait for the season pretty much. Between them and the Giants, it's looking like it's going to be a good year this year.
Yes, sir. Good to hear from you, man. Zay from Maryland. Good to hear from you, bro. We talked about, and shout out to everybody who participated in the first episode of Fan Fridays. Fan Fridays was a good one, man. We had a good episode, and we talked about RJ. The Julius thing is certainly there, but he did reach 19 points per game last year. Had a good playoff, and look, if he's able to convert a bit more at the rim and just a little bit in the mid-range, he could be at 24, bro. He can be at 24. We're talking about a couple more buckets. And he could be, roll be damned. We're talking about a couple more efficient buckets there. Especially at the rim. Especially at the rim, man. Because those are easy opportunities. You just don't want him forcing and chucking at the rim.
For him, man, like what's really impressive about his game last year is how well he shot from the free throw line when he came into the season abysmal, right? So the fact that he knows he can get to the line, he hits most of his free throws now. If he can just score, during the regular course of the game, as you said, finishing around the rim, knocking down some threes, develop a mid-range jumper, we're talking about a 24-point per game score. But the thing is that in order for that to work, I feel like, as the caller was stating, like, can Randall and Barrett coexist together? Because through all the numbers, when you look statistically, they don't really work well off each other. It's like Brunson has to be that connector, or you got to stagger them with different units, as we saw with Thibodeau, right? Where you give RJ his lane to just go run with the second unit, where it's just Brunson and Julius with the first unit to go do their thing. I think what would make it even more, I don't know if the word's satisfying, but more cohesive. Mm-hmm. To make the team more cohesive is to see Randall and RJ working off, like, whether it be them doing a pick and roll, right? Mm-hmm. Someone, Randall being a roll man, maybe RJ, if he can develop that jumper, to be a shooter, or vice versa. I think something along those lines where you can just see them utilize a two-man action. That would be great to see, and seeing how they can actually work together as a cohesive unit.
Yeah, True indeed, man. Salute to Flashy. My guy Flashy has joined the Fanchise Channel Member. Salute to Flashy. So a guy like a Flashy can participate in Fan Fridays, which will be exclusive for our Fanchise Channel Members. Salute to Russell Whiskey. Salute to Gregory Weiner. JJ's in here. Salute to my guy Anthony Paraso. Eric Garcia, salute. Will Latimer, longtime friend of the program. My 2 cents, always in here. Always in here, man. Salute to Bees Noriega. Junior Caroma, always in here. Junior Caroma's a Giants fan, man. First team offense looking kind of beastly, man. Don't be jealous, man. Your guy Aaron Rodgers is dodging the smoke a little bit. He doesn't. I can't play in the preseason. Okay. All right.
Does preseason matter? Let me ask you that question. Does preseason matter?
When you're on a brand new team? Absolutely.
Man.
Absolutely does, man.
He's gonna be fine.
He's Hollywood.
Aaron Rodgers is gonna be fine,
man. All that Hollywood stuff. Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna be fine, man. He's gonna be fine.
All right. Okay.
Well, you worry about your team.
Right.
I'll worry about my team. All right.
Right.
All I know is that we have a future Hall of Famer on my team playing quarterback.
Okay.
And I'm like,
all right. We'll see what happens, man. I'll take your word for it, man. I'll take your word for it. I like what Jones and Waller are looking like right now.
That's all you got is Waller. You got Waller or Saquon. That's it. That's the only 2 weapons you got.
Yeah.
We just said Dalvin Cook. We got Breece Hall. We got Michael Carter. We got Alan Lazard.
Yeah.
We got Garrett Wilson. Come on, man. We got weapons on my team.
Okay.
We got some weapons.
Okay, buddy. Sure.
You know, you wish you had our defense, though. I know that's for sure.
I like what we got. I like what we got right now. I like what we got. Our line is stout. We got Dexter. We got Thibodeau. You know, we'll see what happens with the secondary. I like what we got right now, man. I like what we got, man. Okay. So, next topic I want to touch on. Shout out to our guy, Bobby Marks, man. Friend of the program. As you guys know, we had a great show with him in this offseason. If you guys haven't watched it, definitely check it out. And he jumped all the way out the window. You know, sometimes we jump out the window with the 50 burgers and this, that, and the third. My guy, Bobby Marks, picked the Knicks and the Phoenix Suns as his NBA Finals teams, ladies and gentlemen. What do you guys think about this? And let's go to the soundbite. Let's hear what he had to say, because he went on the Han and Bart show earlier this week to react to it and give his reasoning why. So let's hear it from Marks and let's react to it as a family here. Here's Bobby Marks, courtesy of the Bart and Han show on ESPN Radio. Here we go.
I think the East is a little bit weaker maybe than in prior years. I think the West is certainly is probably the dominant conference right now. But listen, you lose to Miami in the second round. You bring back every player on that roster. You add Dante DiVincenzo here, and I think there's a lot of parity in the Eastern Conference here. And I think barring an injury to one of their main guys here, I think we should be talking about New York when it comes to representing the Eastern Conference. And who knows what happens during the regular season. And you guys have talked about it at length. I mean, they've got everything out there to go out and make a trade if somebody becomes available here. So, yeah, I think we should be talking about them like we talk Milwaukee and Boston and Miami.
Okay. So now, I don't know if this is Bobby, learning the tricks of the engagement game here with us Knicks fans and knowing that that's what we like to hear. But I do think he has some points in that. Number one, there is a lot of parity in the East, right? Mm-hmm. We've talked about this a couple times on previous shows. You have question. Philadelphia's coming back to the pack. Harden's not going to work. They're coming back to the pack. I think without Harden, the Knicks can be better than the Sixers. Boston will be a question mark. Without Smart, how will Porzingis integrate with them? Can they achieve the same type of effectiveness, impact, especially defensively? And will he be healthy? So Boston, we'll see. We'll see what happens with Boston. Miami, if they don't get Dame, I think we're better than them. I think we're better than Miami. I don't care what happened last year. I don't see this team being as strong as they were last year if they don't get Dame. I think we're better than the Cavs. We're far from a complete team, but I still think we're a better team than the Cavs. This Knicks team, for me, can finish anywhere in the top 5. Maybe not 1. I still got to give the Bucks that edge because of the experience, because of the championship pedigree, and then bringing back their whole squad. They're a tough team to beat. And until I see the Knicks really handle them, like they handle the Celtics or they handle the Heat in the regular season, I'm not so sure we can see them. So I still give Milwaukee that edge, but you just never know what can happen. You just never know what can happen. So I wouldn't say it's impossible for them to get to the finals. But as Mark said, with the East, there's a lot of question marks in the East. If the Knicks are able to capitalize on what got them there last year and improve, I wouldn't say it's impossible.
Definitely not impossible. And I think what you got to factor in for the Knicks being in those names is that, one, they're going to be good enough where they make the playoffs, right? If they don't, something's gone terribly wrong and heads probably need to roll. But this team, based on how they performed last year, how you have most of this roster coming back, as long as everyone stays healthy, this team should be back in the same position they were last season. And the reason it's not improbable is that, as we saw this past year, right? Milwaukee getting taken out by Miami. You have Boston losing to Miami as well, right? Anything can happen in the playoffs. Injuries. You saw what happened to Giannis. He hurts his back. He misses time. That changes the whole dynamic of that series, right? Julius gets re-injured during against the Cavs. Impacts his play against Miami, right? Anything could happen in the playoffs, which gives the Knicks that chance to make it that far. Depends on the matchup, too. Say you get the Cavs, say you get the Heat again. That could be in their favor. You already know what the Heat can do. That's in your favor to go even further to get to the ECF. To the finals?
What do you think?
That would be the tougher challenge.
Yeah.
I don't think it's out of question to say they can make an Eastern Conference Finals appearance. You just don't know.
Yeah.
Like, there's just so much that goes on in a regular season that we just do not know. But I also think this team is good enough where having another year under their belt, as he also pointed out, having that consistency, right, in the roster and the continuity, I think that familiarity with everybody should give them even more confidence going into the season and hopefully open up the playbook a little bit more, right? And not make it so isolation heavy. If you can get everybody involved, that changes everything too. I think the thing that we see from Miami, which really changed the dynamics, was that you saw Caleb Martin and Gabe Vincent getting hot because they were also involved in the offense. If you get like Grimes involved, you get Quickley more involved, right? Maybe these guys can go catch fire, and sometimes you just don't have an answer for somebody like that. But the teams that we saw like during the Heatles, we don't have that. The Warriors, like with KD and Steph, we don't have that anymore. Yeah. So it's open for anybody to really make it that far. And that's why I think for the Knicks, it's not out of the realm of the possibility.
Yeah, I don't think so. But I will say this: a lot would have to break right for them. A lot would have to break right for them.
What do you think needs? Yeah. You say a lot needs to break right for them. What's a lot in your opinion?
Here, I would give you 3 things. 3 things that would have to break right. We always talked about, or at least I always talk about, a lot of the common factors in these championship teams, or at least when you get to the Final Four, is the ability for your offense to generate easy buckets by increasing your passing, upping your assist percentage, upping your assists per game, ball movement. I think the Knicks team needs that, but I don't see them doing that. I don't see the offense just automatically just changing and then becoming the Denver Nuggets or the Golden State Warriors. I think this offense is what it is under Tibbs. So with that, if you're going to keep an isolation-heavy offense, then that means you need Randall and RJ to play. You need RJ to get up to an all-star level, but you need them to play that way in the playoffs. You get what I mean? Quickly as well. I get that. You're gonna if you're gonna keep that isolation heavy offense, then your key isolation players. Not forget Brunson. He's there. He's already there. Your other isolation players have to be there in the playoffs. So that means Julius, that means RJ, that means quick off the bench. They've got to be great consistently in the playoffs if you're not going to have an offense that is going to generate a lot of ball movement, right? Like if you take in, I looked up in history of the champions, how many NBA champions won where they weren't a top 10 team in terms of assists per game. And one of the teams were the 01-02 Lakers. They had a number 3 ranked offense, sub 10 in assists, but they was led by Shaq and Kobe, right? 2 of the greatest ever to ever play, and unstoppable forces in the playoffs. So that's one thing. Your ISO players have to deliver outside of Brunson, your non-Brunson ISO players. Secondly, their effective field goal percentage, shooting percentage has to go up. As a team, they've got to shoot the ball much, much better. We saw that in the Heat series. They were the New York Bricks. Can't get to the finals if you can't shoot, right? You can't get to the finals if you can't shoot. And then third, you got to be borderline elite defensively. You can't just be average. Like I believe they finished 13th. Where they finished in the league on defense last year? 13th?
I think it was 13th, yeah.
And in the postseason, they finished second. If you go by defensive rating, they did finish second. But you're gonna need a top-notch defense going into this thing. Like, if you see, a Milwaukee or the Celtics in these matchups, how's your three-point defense looking? These are teams, especially Celtics, they're going to maintain that high octane. They're going to let it fly from 3. How's your three-point defense? Do the Knicks have enough size to contend with the Milwaukee in the postseason? With Lopez, the Freak, Portis. Do we have enough size? Right, we're looking for a backup 4. What happens when Julius gets into foul trouble trying to guard the Freak? What happens when Mitch gets into foul trouble trying to guard Giannis going downhill? Do we have enough depth, enough size and depth to counter that? I'm not so sure. That's why I say a lot of things would have to break right for them, but those are really my 3.
Okay. I don't disagree with any of the things that you say. Isolation, I don't think you can win with just pure isolation. I think we passed that era. Can't do it. So yes, ball movement would be necessary in that case. And defense, for sure. Absolutely. I mean, and just going back on the entire season, the Knicks were actually 19th based on defensive rating throughout the league. So that would need to take a step up.
19, right? 19.
Yes, yeah, it was 19.
Okay.
19, yeah. Even after the 9-man rotation change, they only went up to 17. So not that much in change. So yeah, I hear you on all those things. But the thing is that, as we saw with Miami, right, things can just flip where you like Miami was one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the NBA. If they were not last, they were damn near in the basement, close to last. What happens? They start shooting lights out. Anything can happen, man. Right? Defensively, they were a fine team. They took it up to another level. You lose Tyler Hero, you think your offense is going to take a step back, but Duncan Robinson comes in and wasn't like Tyler Hero, but he was serviceable enough to help them get to the finals, right?
Yeah.
So you get to that point, things can change, right? So could they win? Could they do it with their isolation heavy offense? Absolutely. You can have guys on a heater for 2 months, right? And they could actually do it. The thing is that, will they be prepared to actually execute during that time period? Will they have enough repetitions through the actual regular season to be comfortable in those roles where, if Grimes, let's say Tibbs really changes it up, right? And like they go even more isolation heavy. Will Grimes be ready just to knock down all of his threes with only 4 or 5 attempts instead of on some nights where he's getting 12 because the defense is going to switch it up during a regular series? Those are the things that we can't account for, but it's definitely possible. I hear you on those things. I agree with them. I agree with you based on like 4, right? That type of consistency definitely needed for a good basketball team to make it that far. I mean, we just watched the Nuggets. We watched the Miami Heat. Even though they went they took another step up. They had that ball movement, right? They had that team chemistry that you're looking for. So it's not impossible. We see there's stranger things that have happened, right? And especially when it comes down to injuries. Look, Raptors won the NBA Finals. KD tears his Achilles, right? Klay Thompson, they lose Klay Thompson too during that series. I forget if it was his ACL or if it was Achilles that went out, but they lost him too. So we don't know. But they're good enough to compete. So if a team faces an injury, that could happen for the Knicks. But I do agree. I do agree, especially when it comes to ball movement. I'd like to see this team be more fluid as like an actual team instead of just relying heavily on, all right, Brunson, it's your turn. All right, Randall, it's your turn. Right? Like I'm just looking at the numbers right here between Brunson and Randall just when we had that conversation. RJ assisted Randall on 57 of his made field goals. Compared to Jalen Brunson, Brunson helped on 125. Now, granted, ball's going to be in Brunson's hands, but that big of a disparity in assists and telling you how much they're involved in the offense, like working off each other, that's telling to me. Now, conversely, actually, Randall was better helping out RJ because he got him, he helped him on 70, and Brunson helped RJ on 83. Granted, RJ did most of his damage with the second unit, so I wouldn't expect it to be as high as like the Brunson and Randall assist totals. So we'll need some ball movement.
There you go. There you go, man. Shout out to T, $5 super chat from T. They say our coach game plan allows for open threes in the 3-point era. Offensive defense needs major changes. I think the offense definitely needs a look. You know, obviously Brunson thrived in that offense, but it's yet to be determined. I think it's left to be determined whether or not it's sustainable, whether they will have success in the playoffs that way. You know, this is a result of guys not shooting the ball well, or is it just too isolation heavy? We'll have to wait and see. Defensively, though, look, a lot of teams will sell out to protect against easy points in the paint, high percentage points. Now, you still got to recover and get out to the 3-point line, get the shooters off the line. I think some of that is personnel. Some of that is communication, having high IQ players. I think a lot of that plays into consideration there. But a lot of teams sell out to protect the paint. It's not just a Tibbs thing. It's not just a Tibbs thing. I think so. The Milwaukee Bucks are. I keep saying the Milwaukee Bucks because for quite some time, when they were under Budenholzer, Miami Heat, these guys would lead the team, lead the league in 3-point attempts, opponent 3-point attempts, and still have one of the best defenses in the league.
I would say, like, outside of the Heat catching like fire, offensively, especially for the Bucks, they're much more consistent for the Knicks. Much more consistent for the Knicks. I mean, you talked about effective field goal percentage. I'm sure if we looked at the two effective field goal percentages for the Knicks and for the Bucks, it's just
I'm saying defensively. I'm saying giving up.
I understand that.
Okay.
No, I understand that. That. But I'm saying, like, conversely, it doesn't matter. Like, for the Bucks, they can do that because offensively they can keep up, is what I'm trying to say. Right? So let's see. Let's see if I can find that effective field goal percentage for the Bucks right now.
Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Knicks Weekly, episode 70 underway. Salute to all our Fanchise Channel members in the building. Salute to everybody watching, man. If you guys are new in the chat, leave us a hashtag new. We'll shout you guys out. Also, remember to support our sponsors, man. Manscaped.com, promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping.
So here, the Bucks were 10th in the NBA with an effective field goal percentage. The Knicks were 20th. Okay. If you're going to tell me that, hey, the Bucks can sell out and allow opponents to take those 3-point percentage, I'm like, okay, they're 10th. They can score. They can keep up with anybody, right? Knicks, not as effective as how the Bucks would score, right? Bucks have good 3-point shooting. You got Giannis. You got Chris Middleton, who can attack to all 3 phases. Same thing with Drew Holiday. Outside of Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle being your main scorers, and probably your own outside, and I'll throw Quickley in there for a little bit as being your most adept 3-level scorers, Everybody else is just kind of in between, and we didn't have that great of 3-point shooting to say, okay, if they're gonna make a three, we can answer right back. At least with the Bucks, right? You can say we can answer right back. So I don't mind the defensive play style, but when you're somebody like the Knicks and you don't have that type of offensive production, I think you gotta change up the defense in order to stay in the game, right? It's like, all right, we're really gonna bank on RJ knocking down threes at a high clip.
Yeah.
Julius couldn't do that for the remainder of April. End of March through April, he couldn't knock down his threes at a high clip anymore. So because the Knicks aren't that great offensively, I think you have to be a little bit more flexible on defense. So that means, all right, we can't just pack the paint tonight. Let's go protect the three because we can't answer. It's like against the Miami Heat. They were knocking down every single three. We could not answer. Change it up.
Fair points, man. Let's go to LD on the Discord. LD, how you feeling, bro?
I'm good. How y'all doing today?
Good, man.
Good. This is why this Team USA, this FIBA World Cup is the best thing that has happened for the Knicks, because we get to see Jalen Brunson and RJ Barrett outside of this system that we're used to. But I do want to bring something back to the Jalen Brunson thing. I don't think we should take any of the criticism personally, because I've seen a lot of people get frustrated that, Halliburton is being said to be better than him and things that sort. I mean, this is a team being coached by Steve Kerr, Eric Spoelstra, and Ty Lue, aka basketball ball movement 101. I think it was kind of clear that we were going to get to see what Jalen Brunson looks like in this system. I personally think he was brought here for his leadership and half-court crunch time. That's kind of his main thing. Of course, he's going to bring if he's a starter or not, whatever the case may be, Team USA is going to blow out a lot of teams. So I don't think he's going to be that important to do what he does for the Knicks. But in this system where it's ball movement 101, it's clear that other players will have better highlights than he does. It doesn't have anything to do with him personally. It's just kind of the system that's being run. But I do think it's important for us to point out, though, how do we adjust with Jalen Brunson being somebody who's ball dominant? Because if you've watched the games, he hasn't looked that good. Someone who's that ball dominant, clearly winning basketball, as you said, is ball movement. How do we go from what we've done last year to actually winning basketball? Because if we look at our players individually, a lot of them are really, really, really good individually. RJ is showing that. Quickley can do his thing. Grimes is better than a lot of people understand. Even the guys that you guys are laughing at, Fournier, individually, he's not as bad as some may make him out to be. But I think it's just about, as you've mentioned, how do we make it all flow together? Because we don't have a bad roster. We just have to figure it out and then, compete with, I don't think finals, but, things could change. Bobby Marks could also be, projecting or anticipating trades happening like James Harden, what's his name, Joel Embiid and things like that. So I can understand where he's possibly coming from. But we have enough I wouldn't be shocked. I don't think we're that far away from what Miami Heat did last year, but, who knows? We just have to kind of figure it out, though.
Yeah, good call and good points, man. I feel like if they're not, again, if we're not having a offensive system revolution here, which we're not going to have.
Yeah.
Number one, between Julius and RJ, they've got to find more efficiency in their game. Overall, the 3-point shooting has to improve. Also,
I don't think it can, though.
I'm not
I don't
so
think
sure.
it can with RJ and RJ and Randall, and I don't think it has much to do with them as individuals. They just can't. If you don't create a system that makes it flow, it's not going to work. Because the gentleman who I've been hearing this a lot, that RJ is basically Julius Randle. I never thought about it like that, but if you actually look at how they play, it is pretty much kind of very similar. They're not really great with their ball handling, but they like attacking the rim. I could see that, but I don't think they should. It's not something that we have to blow up. We just have to figure out how to make them work together. You know what I'm saying? Because they're amazing individuals.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly, man. I think, the spacing situation, like, are there rotations where they can find optimal spacing to allow these guys to operate and be effective? But knowing Tibbs and his need to have a big man in there at all times, I'm not so sure. Like, they're not going to play Julius at the 5. He doesn't want to play Julius at the 5. Does it improve in a second year with Hartenstein being more comfortable with these guys? We'll have to see. And then also, with Brunson, to me, being your best 3-point shooter, are there abilities to play him in two-guard situations where he's playing off-ball as well, so you get him more involved as a 3-point shooter, you can get him some more off-ball opportunities?
That's possible. He's
maybe
a small
that helps
guy,
improve. Yeah. Maybe that
small
helps
guy.
things improve a little bit.
But I mean, I think we're seeing again, our roster, from my perspective, because I look at it from a budget perspective, is amazing. And talent-wise, I think, maybe I'm biased, I love every single player on the team, including the ones people hate a lot. Because I think they give you what you pay them for and a lot more. It's just about that flow. It's all about that flow. And we have to also consider, I know nobody wants to hear this, some teams did get, not necessarily better, but they got better coaching. Our arch rival, the Hawks, they did get a new coach. So we have a lot of things that we have to focus on this year specifically, because again, our roster's payroll is amazing. It's not going to be this for too long.
Not for too long.
This is you know what I'm saying? This is our chance to strike while the iron's hot. But nonetheless, it was good talking to y'all.
Appreciate it, man.
Knicks all the way, man.
Yes, sir. Talk soon. LD from Brooklyn on the check-in. Salute to LD. Al, what's your thoughts on that? Then we're going to get to our season reviews.
I think my thoughts on this, I mean, look, we've talked about it at the show, man. It's like, how do we get all these guys to flow? And like you said, Tibbs probably not going to overhaul that offense, man. And I think the question moving forward is the front office actually going to start evaluating Tom Thibodeau to see, do they need a new voice to incorporate some offense? Because we've seen it with many teams where the first coach can take you to a certain level, but you're going to need somebody else to take them to that next step. And in a team where you're seeing a lot of ball movement, a lot of action that's being successful, you saw that with the Miami Heat, Denver Nuggets. That's how the Warriors play. It's how the Kings play. We don't have LeBron James. We don't have a LeBron James player that can just go out there and dominate. So you got to figure out, how do you get everybody involved and really maximize everyone's talents? And I think the system of read and react, where Brunson, Randall, RJ drives and you kick it out and you find somebody over from the three. I think that's good. Like, that's a good base to work from, but you're going to need to be a little bit more creative than that, because as we saw this finals run, these guys were, one, creative with their offenses, and two, they have such high level talent that we're talking about, especially like the Nuggets. When you have someone like Jokic, like you're going to have to win with, if you don't have that type of talent, you have to win with some creativity. You know what I mean? And I just don't see how isolation heavy basketball wins in the creative department, where it's like, we know what's going to happen. They got to rely on either Brunson or Randall to do this, right? And then it goes down to RJ and Quickley. So if you can just pinpoint if you can just easily pinpoint that based on the rotation that Tibbs throws out there, I think you as the front office need to start evaluating, do we actually have the talent to really compete? And if so, how do we unlock all these players to play in a fluid system? I mean, Kevin O'Connor was on the NBA Report, and he talks about Trae Young, right? Trae Young, why he doesn't believe Trae Young is going to be that successful is because he's isolation heavy. He doesn't play off ball, man. How do you allow somebody else to just work the ball and then allow Trae to be somebody that can just roam around and do what Steph Curry does, right? Got a lot of hype coming out of college saying he was like Steph Curry, but if you watch Steph Curry isn't on the ball 24/7. He can bring the rock up. He can play off ball. He's weaving in and out between screens that are set through the middle of the court, right? He's catching off of pin downs and everything. There's creativity to use with that excellence. And we don't have necessarily that excellence of a Steph Curry, of a Jokic. So we need to be that creative. So to LD's point, yes, you have to figure out how you can get everybody involved and maximize their talents. And I think if you're the front office moving forward, you got to think about, is Tibbs this guy to take you to that next level? Because as LD also pointed out, they're on great contracts. Like, you're not going to have this for too much longer. And so if you actually believe in all this talent, and they just need to you just got to jiggle the puzzle a little bit to figure out what it is. I think you got to start evaluating the coach. And if that just means, like, look, if it's another second round exit and it's going out in the way that you did against Miami, right? Where it's just a lot of isolation basketball. We're relying on one guy to have to play 48 minutes to win. And we're wondering, why is Grimes cold? Why is Quickley cold? And all these other guys, I think you got to start looking, not only at the players, like they got to show up too, but you got to look at the creativity from the coaching standpoint, take them to that next level.
Fair enough. Fair enough, man. Let's go forward and move on to our season review series, man. We are wrapping it up today, and let's kick it off out with Immanuel Quickley, man. IQ finishing second in NBA Sixth Man of the Year award. An outstanding year for IQ, man. Finishing the regular season averaging 14.9 points, 4 boards, 3 dimes on 44% shooting from the field, 37 from 3, and a steal. Although in the postseason, those numbers did dip, man. 9 points per game, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 34% shooting from the field, and 24% from downtown. How do you reflect back on IQ's season?
IQ was so effective this season, man. Let me just read you some numbers, okay? His rookie season, 49.5%. This is his effective field goal percentage, by the way. 49.5%. Next year, 48.9%. Took a slight dip.
Mm-hmm.
This season, 54.2%. And where did all those place him amongst combo guards? First year, 32nd percentile. Sophomore season, 39th percentile. This season, 65th percentile. Took a massive jump just being an effective scorer. But not only did we see him be an effective scorer, he complemented that with his two-way play on defense. So to have him like show that he can not only just be this microwave scorer and then improve as a facilitator, as a playmaker as well. Dynamo season, man. Dynamo season, I think. And that's why when you listen to Knicks fans, like, everyone's like, yo, you got to pay Quickley. They don't want to see this guy go because how important he was. Definitely the third most important player. I mean, him not playing well in the playoffs really impacted why the Knicks finished where they did, man.
Yeah.
Like, and him getting injured too was a big thing. You know, you needed 48 minutes from Jalen Brunson. Granted, Quickley wasn't playing well, but you still needed that because you didn't have another player who could control the rock and feed people, right? I mean, when Brunson was out in those games, the Knicks went 500 or maybe slightly above, 1 game over. And who helped lead them? Immanuel Quickley, all right? Boston double OT, Quickley. You think about playing, I think, was Brunson out against the Suns? I think he was out against the Suns. Quickley, no, he wasn't out against the Suns. But you think about against Houston, another guy that you needed for him to show up. Look, Quickley's been so important to this team. For this season, man, he was just excellent. Absolutely excellent for his development, considering what his draft profile was, which was 3-point shooter, microwave scorer. That's it.
Absolutely, man. His improvement this season was one of the key storylines of a hugely successful Knicks season, man. Quickley was tremendous for this team. Absolute spark plug off the bench. He was everything for them. And then, as you said, don't forget as a starter, man. I mean, his starter splits were incredible. 22-5, 22-5-5, 22-5-5, 40% shooting, and a 60% true shooting percentage, damn near 61%. He was great as a starter for the Knicks this year. The Boston game where he dropped 38 points in a double overtime victory, he was tremendous. Started that game off with a 3 from your neck of the woods, wherever you live. It was that deep of a 3. And, you know, he set the tone from there. It's hard to even say which side of the ball he was greater on because defense, he was outstanding. Especially his off-ball defense. He was absolutely outstanding defensively for the Knicks. And as a sixth man, you couldn't ask for more. This is why he finished second in the league as the league's best bench player. I mean, these are awards that go to Jamal Crawfords of the world, that go to Lou Williams of the world. So, you know, for Quickley to be a finalist, a runner-up, and arguably somebody that you could have given the award to, no disrespect to Brogdon. Obviously, he earned it and deserved it, but Quickley was phenomenal, man. And it just seems like it just seemed like as the season progressed, outside of the playoffs, we'll get to playoffs, he got better and better. From January through April, man, his efficiency numbers were excellent. Excellent. Now, from the free throw line, it was kind of up and down. But from three-point percentage and his true shooting percentage, his offensive rating, it was outstanding, man. Absolutely outstanding. And so he was terrific for this team. Started 21 games this year. Started 21 games, played 81 games. So not only was he outstanding and reliable, he was durable. Played 81 out of 82 games. So great job. Yeah, tremendous job by him, man. Tremendous job. It was just disappointing in that such a tremendous regular season and that he had, it just as a postseason, it was a disaster, man. It was a disaster. He was a non-factor in, maybe he had one or two decent games. But that was a disappointment, man, because he had such a phenomenal regular season. And then the postseason, at times, I thought he was overmatched. At times, it seems like he looked lost. He didn't have that first step. A lot of the teams were cutting him off in terms of his forays into the paint. So, again, learning experience as teams key in on him. Scouting reports have changed from his rookie season. So let's see how he counters and adjusts, because I still think he's going to be very, very important to the success of this team going into next season.
Absolutely. And here are the games that I was thinking without Brunson were quickly performed. It was against Miami. He had Boston, Lakers, Portland, and 2 Houston wins. Those are the games that we did win without Brunson. Games that we lost: Dallas, Spurs, first time against the Spurs, Charlotte, Clippers, Orlando. Now the last 3 games are against Indy. The last 3 are 2 against Indy, 1 against the Pelicans, but not really counting those. Those were towards those were wash of the games. But still, quickly to have this team hovering without Brunson, that just shows you how impactful he is, man. But yeah, to your point, playoffs was just rough because he was lost, and I think to be promoted to that role as and your second time in the playoffs, because let's remember, the first time he was in the playoffs, he was a rookie, right? He didn't really have that much responsibility. It was like, all right, come in here, shoot. If we get some points from your play, awesome. Being the 6th man now and giving his responsibility, saying, all right, for the second unit, you run that offense. You got to score. You're going to be a lead defensively. And then you're also going to be a key component with the starters when we close, when you're in there. Because if Brunson gets double teamed, you're then running the offense. Big responsibility change. And I think adapting to that, where the course of an 82 regular game season, it's like practice, right? They treat the regular season like practice. That much more pressure, I can understand why he could have some jitters. You don't know how to play anymore, right? And we also had the discussion that, there were some games where it's like he looks more of like a playmaker, more of a scorer, and it seems like he just needs to know which switch to flip before the game. I feel like that also impacted him too in the playoffs. But, next time around, you just got to go get it, man. You can't have too many of these.
Tremendously, man. And his effective field goal percentage went up a ton between year 2 and year 3. Year 2, he's at 48.9. Year 3, 54.2. And that was good for 65th percentile. And a large part of that was he had a big jump in the short mid-range, man, in terms of accuracy, from 41% to 50%. 41% to 50% in the short mid-range, and he improved at the rim from 62% to 67%. Strong numbers, strong efficiency numbers from Quick. And he was just tremendous for them offensively. Defensively, he was in the 99th percentile for this team in terms of on-off numbers, in terms of opponents' points per possession on the defensive end. -12. a minus 6.7 effective field goal percentage, which put him in the 100th percentile. His defense was critical for that team, man. And so, look, what his future holds for this team, we shall see. But for me, unless it's for a substantial upgrade, I'm keeping Quick.
That's gonna be tough.
I gotta try to keep
Quick. As the Knicks, you gotta do anything possible to keep him around on this team, just because of how valuable he is. But that's going to be tough.
Yeah.
He already made it noted, man, during that Slam interview. He wants to be a starter.
Yeah. True indeed, man. So with that being said, what's your rating for Quick this year?
Oh, 8.5.
Oh, okay. Quick draw.
Yeah.
No holding back for you.
Nope. I think 8.5 is good for what he did. I know playoffs was bad.
Yeah.
Which, that left from, like, for me, because, like, he could have easily had a 9 if he showed up in the playoffs, but his play was so good during the regular season, so important to get the Knicks to where they are.
Yeah.
I have to give it an 8.5, man. Like,
okay,
just for where he came from his rookie season to now, these are the type of things when you draft a player, like when you say, I never saw this coming, like that's what you hope to see, right? And to have that, whoo, excellent.
8.5, man. What do you guys think in the chat? Ooh, I'm seeing a 7 from Jay from Puerto Rico, man. I think that's tomato worthy, man. JJ 7.5. Tough crowd, man. I'm gonna give him an 8. Solid 8. Solid 8. I agree with you wholeheartedly. His contributions to the regular season, he's another one of those guys. Yes, it was Brunson. Yes, it was Julius. Yes, it was a hard acquisition. But Quickley's play is right up there in terms of importance to get them to where they were. Whether it was as a starter or as a reserve, offensively, defensively, he was too good for this team. Wait, too good to this team, not for this team. Yeah. He was too good in terms of to this team. He was very good. So
you're gonna stick with the 8. Just is the playoffs? The playoffs really did it to you, huh?
I gotta dock a 0.5, man. The playoffs was like, it was so disappointing, man. It was disappointing. It was lackluster. So, guys who didn't have solid playoff performances, I got to dock them a 0.5. I docked Julius a 0.5. RJ, I got to dock Quick a 0.5. DJ Edsy says a 9.
Woo!
Yeah.
Our guy Gamba said a 9. Look at that.
Gamba's got 9. Interesting. I got to dock a little bit for the playoffs, man. We needed him during the playoffs. He wasn't there.
Okay. All right. I will continue to give out my substitute teacher grades.
Yeah. Okay. So that was Quick. And we conclude our series with the floor general man, Jalen Brunson, ladies and gentlemen. The best contract in the NBA right now. 24 points in the regular season. 6 dimes. 49% shooting from the field. 41 from 3. And the numbers, well, his points per game got better in the postseason because they needed him. 27.8 in the postseason. 5 boards. 4.9 assists, 47% shooting from the field, 32% from downtown, 91% from the charity stripe, and 1.5 steals. This is an easy one, man, but go ahead, JB.
Well, we're just going straight to the grade. Is that what you're asking?
No, just season review. Season review into the grade.
Dude, excellent.
Yeah.
Remember, it's like, he is not the final piece. Remember those articles saying he is not the final piece for the Knicks? He may not be the final piece, but he's damn near close. For the level of play that he gave the Knicks, man, I thought he was going to be good. I knew he was going to stabilize the offense just because just watching him in Dallas, you could see that he can control the tempo and the pace of a game, man. Whatever games Luka missed, even in the playoffs, you just saw, okay, this guy has the ability to really command an offense and really lead a team. I didn't expect this level of play, though, where it's just we're talking real, all-star, superstar level type performance, man. I mean, to drop over 40 points in a game 6 closeout by yourself to keep the Knicks within, scoring distance, right? Literally, the question is, if he played 48 instead of giving him rest and putting Miles McBride in there, could the Knicks actually win and push it to 7? Like, we could legit have that conversation, be like, what if that happened? That's how good he is. When he played, man, there was never like no night that I have to worry about, things are gonna get out of hand. Didn't have to worry about it. This guy, whether it's breaking Caruso's ankles, whether it's finishing through traffic, whether it's just knocking down threes wide open or somebody contesting, you could rely on Jalen Brunson. If he scored 18 points, that was an off night for him, right? That's how good of a scorer he is. And he's efficient. I don't know, man. I could go on and on and on about how good this guy is, but truly, he changed the dynamic of this team completely.
Yep.
Which is why I said during the regular season, him not being an all-star, him not being all NBA, truly criminal. Because if you just tuned into a Knicks game, you could see, all right, you could figure out like, all right, Julius is important, Quickley's important, Mitchell Robinson's important. There's one guy who makes this thing really, who took it to the next level. And you just saw that whenever he was missed, and that's Jalen Brunson.
Yeah. No question about it, man. I agree with everything you said. Like when you first came here, you expected them to improve. You expected him to help stabilize things, but he was better than that. He was way better than that. And he played at a borderline superstar type of talent for this team. Just an unlimited offensive arsenal, elite shot making, elite mid-range, elite finishing talent, three-point shooting, top notch, just the footwork, the ability to use his size as a strength. Because a lot of people say, oh, he's undersized. But you watch how he operates, he plays like he's 6'5". It doesn't even matter, especially on the offensive end. Now, defensively, no, he's not a perfect player. I think he's a bit average to below average defensively. That's the hole in his game. Will that ever improve? I'm not so sure. I don't think so. But he's still selfless, especially on the defensive end when it comes to taking charges and putting his body on the line. And so for that, you can't say his defense is a complete zero because he still makes plays to impact winning on the defensive end. And those things, when you're drawing charges or you're drawing contact or you're making it harder for guys to score, those things can turn the momentum around. It could shift plays, and so those are still important. So, but offense is where he shines, and you look at statistically wherever he ranked. I mean, just offensively, he was one of the best, most elite isolation players in all of the NBA last year. Any statistic you want to look at it, and he go ahead.
His queen of the glass numbers are off the charts.
Insane.
It's off the charts.
Insane.
The worst, which I don't even know how it's the worst part of his game, but it's like he shot 60% around the rim, 46 percentile as a point guard, but everything else, it's 78, like outside of the effective field goal percentage. Like you look at everything that goes into it, it's 78th percentile and higher. That's absurd.
Elite shot making ability, man. Elite shot making ability. I think there was a question in the chat, I think on one of our previous shows, like, or maybe on the KnicksFanTV Instagram, and it was like, can he take his game up a notch? And it's just like, I don't even know, like, way off outside of the defense, like where offensively could he be better? I mean, you want him to see him be a more of a playmaker? Like, it's hard to say that when the team. It's hard to say that, man. It's very difficult because yes, on one hand you could say that over yes the team needs more ball movement and sure you want him to at times not dominate the ball as much, but then you also need him to do that. It's hard, man. Especially in crunch time. In crunch time, he was one of the best clutch players in all of the NBA. At one point, led the NBA in crunch time scoring.
His in and out dribble, attacking the lane right down the middle, and the swoop to draw the foul or just finish is just, it's so iconic at this point. I feel like it's just ingrained into my brain because how often he did it and how effective that move was. I don't know what else he can do offensively just to score the basketball he could do. I agree with you. I think playmaking wise, yes, I'd like to see him take another level, but that can only take another level with the guys around you.
Right.
You know, that's the issue. So, you know, unless, this is why I say, like, for Tibbs, like, if you could create that type of offense, right, where maybe you say you can get Jalen Brunson more off ball, right, to give him breaks, whether it be Quickley, Grimes, somebody else, Julius, like, something's got to happen to allow Brunson to be off ball, to be in that type of set and be a playmaker, because otherwise we're going to see the same thing of him being on ball. It's like, you can't ask for that because he was needed, man. There's nobody else I trusted with the hand with the rock in their hand more than Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
It's like, nope.
That's it.
It was even against Chicago. It was against Chicago where the last play, you just see Randall just go ice and you're like, that's it. That's the final buzzer beater.
Yeah.
But it's like with Brunson, it's like, he could do whatever. It's probably going to go in.
He ended up finishing 4th in terms of total clutch points in the league. Fox finished 1st, so Fox won that award. Somebody in the chat was asking who won that Jerry West award, the first ever. De'Aaron Fox ended up winning it with 194 points in crunch time in the clutch. Wow. DeRozan 159, Jimmy Butler 151, Jalen Brunson 139.
Woo. And keep in mind, CP, he missed games.
Hey, that's what I was just about to say. That he missed games. I was just gonna say that. Wow. I was just gonna say that.
He played in 68 games and he was that close. That's insane.
Yeah. The top 10: Fox, DeRozan, Butler, Brunson, Spider Mitchell, Trae Young, Joel Embiid, Luka Doncic, SGA, Kyrie Irving. There's names.
Yeah.
Whew. They're the names. So,
man, blessing.
It's a blessing.
Blessing for this team.
It's a blessing, man. I'm giving it a 10. I think that's a 10. It's a 10 worthy. And then look, in crunch time, when we needed him the most against Miami Heat, he gave up. It was a tough turnover to watch, but he still dropped a 40 piece. He delivered. He tried to deliver when his team needed him the most. Destroyed the Cavs. Only person to solve that Heat defense outside of Jokic. Outside of Jokic and them. Only person to solve that Heat defense. 10.
I don't think you can give this guy anything less than a 10. On this season, 10. It's easy.
Yeah.
That's easy. Dude was just, he's that guy.
Yeah.
Legitimately that guy. I don't know. Like, I really don't know. Like, could his game take another level? I really don't know what that would even look like.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that would look like.
That's right. That's right.
Was his effective field goal percentage like 60?
That's right, man. So, yeah, that's a 10-point performance on the season. That's a 10-point performance on the season.
He better be an all-star and all-NBA next year.
Yeah. I agree with you, man. I definitely agree with you there. So, great job, great season by him. And we'll see how he and the Knicks capitalize next season, man. A shout out to the floor general, Jalen Brunson. And we wish him luck representing Team USA in the FIBA World Cup. Here's another interesting thing about Brunson, man. Another interesting thing about Brunson. Give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second. So to everybody in the chat, hit that thumbs up on Free Boys. Let me tell you that's this interesting thing about JB here. So this was Josh Hart's caption on Jalen Brunson after Team USA's win against Greece on Saturday. Captain America. Woo! Where'd you hear that? Where'd you hear that name? Where'd you hear that name, ladies and gentlemen? the #1 show for the fans, by the fans. Yeah, we're trendsetters, man. That's just the bottom line. You know, we're just trendsetters, man. You know what I'm saying? Man. Yeah. So
you know, Josh Hart, you can give us a little at if you want. At KnicksFanTV. It'd be nice.
Just add us. Don't be afraid. You know, don't be afraid to add us, man. Show us some love. You know.
We here.
Yeah. You know, we have been blackballed by the organization, but it's okay. You could still shout us out a little bit on the social medias. It's okay.
Yeah, man. Of course. I mean, we think your breast milk comments are weird, but it's okay. Don't worry. Just still add us.
Yeah, just add us a little bit, man. Show us a little, you know, show us a little love, man. But yeah, that's the story out. It's probably gonna take me about 10 minutes to peel myself off this chair and get my legs in motion again. But
take some Advil.
Yeah. It's gonna take me a little time to get out the house. So I need about an hour to prep and get my ankles.
Mentally think CP's gonna be in that chair just like.
I gotta mentally prepare to move left, right, with all my joints and get them back working. You know.
Man. Well, you know.
Yeah.
Make sure not to party too hard.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh no. Yeah, I'm not a young whippersnapper anymore, man. That's why I had to capitalize on my opportunity, man. Shout out to my coach Johnnie Bryant.
You go see 50 Cent, now you're gonna see the Locks. Come on, man.
Yeah.
You out here.
Listen,
just
man.
Partying up. I see you.
Those are my guys, man. Hip Hop 50. I gotta support my guys, man. They held me down during the golden age of hip hop. My era. You know? Now the music it's just going down the drain. It's in the tubes. You got all these mumble rappers and zombie rappers and you know, they're just selling filth and junk. Huh?
Why is everyone Lil nowadays?
Right. Like, man up. You know what I'm saying? Man up here. Just completely just going down the garbage. But anyway, things evolve. You know, I'm slowly getting onto my get off my lawn type of commentary on you know.
Oh, we know. I'm waiting for the time you to show up to with tapioca pudding. You have to get you a life alert soon. And CP was getting ready for KFTV, and then whoa!
I gotta hold on to the railings when I walk down the stairs these days, man. You gotta be extra cautious.
I'm sure you got the railing in the bathroom too, man. You gotta be like, oh man.
Oh man, it's it's a cold world out here, man. Cold world out here. So I'm gonna go out there, get out there with the cool kids. You enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Everybody in the chat, enjoy the rest of your weekend, man. Have a productive week. Whatever you're getting into, whatever goals you're looking to accomplish, man, we hope you get those. And man, enjoy each other, enjoy your lives, man. Russell Whiskey, salute, man. Fanchise Channel Member as well. We'll tune in. NBA Report. We'll see you guys on the NBA Report this week. Yep. Hit your notification bell. Hit that thumbs up button for your boy. Subscribe to the channel. Remember that the show's available in audio podcast format, all the major podcast platforms. And support our sponsors, Caldera Lab and Manscaped. CalderaLab.com. Promo code KFTV for 20% off. Manscaped.com. Promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping.
Yeah, CCP's using that Caldera Lab, and that's why he looks 30 right now, but his body's feeling like 50.
There you go. Yeah, that's right, man. You know, you look at this picture with me and Johnny B, man. I'm looking like, I could still be in the league. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You could. I mean, technically you still could. Your age, you're not out of the league. You're on your way out of the league, but you're still in the league.
Yeah. So my guy Johnny B, but we got to work on those rotation issues, man. Got to work on those rotation issues, man.
You know, Knicks fans don't want to hear that, man.
About that.
The heir apparent to the throne, no one wants to hear that he's got to work on the rotations.
Yeah. Just not happy about the rotations, especially.
One question before you get out of here.
Yeah.
What does John? I know Johnnie Bryant's catching KFTV, man. We all know that.
Yeah.
But the question is he doing it as he's in the gym or when he's home? So that Tibbs doesn't have to hear the comments.
It's a good question. I'm not so sure.
We need answers, CP.
I know. You know, people are asking if you know, if we got a chance to chop it up. These guys are not allowed to talk about the team. All these guys are under some sort of gag order. Pause. But they're not allowed to talk. From the players to the coaches, they're not allowed to talk without Dolan's permission. So there that is. And especially with us, man, because they let the Fournier interview slip through the cracks. They try to cut my RJ interview out and were unsuccessful, put it that way. So they're a little bit more on high alert of our actions and what we're doing. You understand?
But it won't last for long.
Yeah, once they get a new owner and get rid of all the stooges. So we'll see. Hopefully Musk or Bezos or one of those guys steps up to the plate and buys the Knicks.
Get Jason Calcanis.
J Cal, get on it, man. Him and Musk are boys, man. J Cal talk to Musk. Cut the check. We got to improve the media policy, man. But I digress. I'm going off on a tangent, and they're not worth my time. So, great show, Al. Great show, man. We'll chop it up, man. Until next time, folks.